If you have a block, or if you like to use a block or a strap or anything like that, have it near you. There's nothing really special that you need from my perspective. Maybe some water, as always, is good to have around. Yeah, I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started. You can go ahead and come on. And also, if you can't hear me, by the way, just like type or say something, because I have to be pretty far away. But go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position on your mat. That can be whatever. It can be on your knees. It can be cross-legged. Whatever feels good to you. And then go ahead and close your eyes and rest your hands either next to you or on your knees. And start taking some deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Do a couple more rounds at your own pace. And with each exhalation, maybe think about what you can let go. What stressors, what anxieties, and what worries can you maybe let go for a little bit? Just try to push them out. One more round, inhale. And exhale. Gently open your eyes and go ahead and roll forward onto your hands and knees. This is our tabletop position, so your hips are right over the top of your knees, your shoulders are right over the top of your wrists. And just take a couple of minutes here to just roll through your spine. So what you're going to do is you're going to drop your chest down. We'll do this from the side. You're going to drop your chest down and then push your ribs over to one side and then push your ribs and your back up to the ceiling and then over to the other side and then back down toward the floor. And then again, out to the side and up and then to the other side and then dropping down. So this is slow. And you're really trying to get the full range of motion in your rib cage and your chest and your back. Go ahead and reverse the direction, so go the opposite way now. And one more time. And go ahead and push your hips back to sit your bottom on your heels and rest your forehead for a second on the mat with your arms extended in front of you. So this is child's pose. So remember, any time in the practice, if you're feeling like there's something you don't want to do or you don't understand or you just need a break, you can always come back to child's pose. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and come back forward onto your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes under and gently push back into a downward dog. So what you're doing is you got your arms straight in front of you, your fingertips pointing forward. Your feet are parallel to the sides of your mat. You're trying to push your heels down toward the floor. You're lifting your hips up toward the sky. Your chin is a little bit tucked toward your chest, and you're trying to bring your chest closer to your thighs. You can pedal your legs here, bending one knee at a time and pushing gently into the opposite heel, if you like. You can even come forward and back a little bit if you want to just see how your body feels today. We're just starting our practice. Sometimes I like to rock side to side. All right, when you're ready, take your right leg up to the sky and bring your right foot forward in between your hands. And bring your left foot forward to meet your right. And now just hang your head here. So your hips are going up to the sky. If you need to bend your knees here, that's totally fine. Your goal is to kind of just let go the tension in your head and neck and try to extend your torso down toward the ground. Your hands can be on your legs or your feet or on the ground or just kind of floppy, hanging down. You can rock a little bit from side to side. You can grab your opposite elbows. Just another breath here.
I have a question. Is it okay if I ask my question? I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Do we need to have our knees bent or no? It should be just straight.
However you feel comfortable. If you're fine like this with your legs straight, then that's fine. But if you need to have them bent to get your torso down more, that's also fine.
Sure. Thanks.
Sure. All right, so when you're ready, you're gonna go ahead and hinge at your hips and come up to standing. Raise your arms up overhead and look up. And we're gonna start our sun salutation. You can bring your hands to heart center for one breath. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward at the hips, bringing your hands to your legs or to the ground. Inhaling, look up and flatten your back. Exhaling, right leg to the back of the mat, left leg to the back of the mat, and this is your plank position. So plank position, your shoulders are over the top of your wrists. Your feet are straight behind you, about shoulder distance apart, and your hips are in a straight line from between your shoulders to your feet, so your body is relatively flat. Next, we're going to exhale and come down into a push-up position. So you can keep your elbows tucked in and keep your body flat as you bring your whole body down toward the ground. You're going to untuck your toes and bring your chest forward. So this is our upward dog position. We're on the tops of our feet. Our shoulders are down and back. And you can gently look up. And then tuck your toes under and push your hips up into that downward dog position. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. So you might feel that you're getting a little bit deeper this time, or you might still feel stiff. That's okay. Think about pushing your armpits down toward the mat. It's a lot of shoulder opening. And again, you're lifting your hips up toward the sky. Now your next exhale, bring the right leg up to the sky, bring the right knee forward, bring the left foot forward, right foot forward, left foot forward, and fold. And inhaling, come all the way up to standing with your arms up overhead. And hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, look up and flatten your back. Exhale, your left foot goes to the back of the mat, your right foot goes to the back of the mat, and then come down into chaturanga, that push-up position. And inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling to downward dog. You can add another chaturanga there if you like. And we'll stay in downward dog for a few breaths. Exhaling, take your left leg up to the sky. Bring the left foot forward. Bring the right foot forward and fold. And inhaling, come all the way up. And hands to prayer at the heart. Inhaling, look up, raise your arms up. And exhaling, fold at the hips. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, right foot to the back of the mat, left foot to the back of the mat. Push-up position, and inhale to upward dog. Tuck your toes under, and exhale to downward facing dog. Exhale your right leg to the sky. Bring your right foot forward. Bring your left foot forward and fold. And inhale, come all the way up to standing. Then bring hands to prayer. One more round like this. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale and look up. Exhale your left foot to the back of the mat. Right foot to the back of the mat and come down to push-up position. Inhaling to upward facing dog. And exhaling to downward facing dog. Your gaze here can be in between your ankles behind you. As you think about bringing your chest closer to your thighs and your armpits closer to the ground. For your next exhale, bring your left leg up to the sky. Bring your left foot forward. Bring your right foot forward and fold. And inhaling, come all the way up to standing with your arms up to the sky. And then bring your hands to prayer at your heart. We're going to do series B now. So inhaling, you're going to sit your bottom down. You can use your hands to gauge how low you want to go. And bring your arms up overhead. You're trying to sit like you're sitting in a chair. Your knees are not more forward than your toes, so you should be able to see your toes if you look down. This is from the side. And it's really hard to do because you also want to try to keep your chest up. And your arms can be by your ears. They can be clasped either way. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. And exhaling, right foot to the back of the mat, left foot to the back of the mat, come into chaturanga or push-up position and inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Your right leg is going up to the sky. Bring your right foot forward. Rotate the back heel down and we're coming into warrior one. So warrior one, your front knee is over the top of your ankle. Your back leg is straight and the foot is angled in around a 45 or 60 degree angle. You're trying to sink your hips down to bring your front thigh parallel to the earth, and your hips are facing forward, so they're not open to the side like this. They're facing forward. Weight is going to the outside edge of your back foot and then into the heel and ball of your front foot. Your hands can stay on your hips or come up to the sky. You can gently look up or do a slight back bend if you like, although it's a little early in our practice. Exhaling, bring your hands on either side of the foot. Right foot goes to the back of the mat. You're in plank and you're going to come down to chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog and exhaling to downward dog. Left leg to the sky. Bring the left foot forward. Rotate that right foot down, the heel of the right foot down. And now we're in warrior one on this side. So again, knee over the top of your ankle. Back leg is straight with weight going into the outer edge of that back foot. Hips are facing forward. Arms come up to the sky. And you can look up or you can look straight ahead. Exhaling, hands on either side of that foot. Left leg goes to the back of the mat. Come down into a push-up position. Inhaling to upward dog and exhaling to downward dog. Just a couple of breaths here. Exhaling, take your right leg up to the sky, bring your right foot forward, bring your left foot forward, and sit your bottom down into chair. Exhaling, fold forward, and inhaling, come all the way up to standing, and bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Inhaling, sit your bottom down into chair, bring your arms up overhead. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, take your left leg to the back of the mat, take the right leg to the back of the mat, and stay here in plank for just a second. We're gonna do just a couple rounds of mountain climbers. So you're gonna bring your right knee in towards your chest. Sorry, your right knee. In towards your chest. Your shoulders are staying over the top of your wrists. You're gonna push your scapula, your shoulder blades up to the sky. I'm gonna do this from the side so you can see. So you're not here with your knee barely above the ground. You're trying to suck everything in and push your back up to the sky, and then bring your knee almost like to your armpit. Like bring it up as high as you can. And then you're gonna put that foot back at the back of your mat. Then your other knee is gonna come in. Same thing, you're pushing with your shoulder blades up to the sky. You're hollowing your belly, pushing your belly button towards your spine, and then bringing that knee as high as you can. And then put that foot back to the back of your mat. One more round like that. Your right knee is going to come in. Push, 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 push. Pushing really hard into the ground. Just push your shoulder blades up. And right knee to the back of the mat. And left knee comes in. Push away from the ground. And put your left knee to the back of the mat. And push your hips up into downward dog. Take your left leg to the sky, bring the left foot forward, rotate the right heel down, and come into warrior one for one breath. Exhaling, hands to either side of that foot, left foot goes back, come down to chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog, exhale to downward dog, right leg goes to the sky, right foot comes forward, rotate your other heel down, warrior one on this side. Exhale, hands on either side of that foot, right leg to the back of the mat, chaturanga, inhaling to upward dog, and exhaling to downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Exhaling, take your left leg to the sky, bring your left foot forward, bring your right foot forward, and fold. Sit your bottom down like you're sitting in a chair. Exhaling, fold forward, and inhaling, come all the way up to standing, and bring your hands to prayer at your heart center. Inhaling, sit your bottom down like you're sitting in a chair. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, your right foot to the back of the mat, left foot to the back of the mat, and stay here for just a second. What we're gonna do now is Spider-Man push-ups, for people who know what that is. So what you're gonna do, and keep your body flat like in this plank position, and then you're gonna bring your leg, or start with the right leg, you're gonna bring the leg in to the outside of that arm. Turn so you can see. So this is for me, it's my left leg because I'm mirroring you, but I'm gonna bring that knee up toward my armpit, and then go down into a chaturanga, and then push up, and then put the leg back. And then do the other side. So the knee comes in toward the armpit, I go into push up, and then I push up, and then put the leg back. So let's do it all together. So your right knee comes in, come down into a push-up position, push up, right foot goes back, left knee comes in, push-up position, left foot goes back, and you're in downward dog. Right leg goes to the sky, bring your right foot forward, rotate your left heel down, and come into warrior one. Exhaling, hands on either side of that foot, right foot to the back of the mat, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog, left leg to the sky. Left foot comes forward, rotate your heel down. Warrior one. Exhaling, hands on either side of that foot, left leg to the back of the mat. Push-up position, inhale to upward dog, and exhale to downward dog. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Exhaling, right leg to the sky. Bring your right foot forward, bring your left foot forward, and sit in a chair. Exhaling, fold forward, and inhaling, come up to standing, and bring your hands to prayer at your heart center. Just take a breath there. All right, that's it for our set of sun salutations, and the rest of the class will continue to do sun salutations in between our poses. This is a vinyasa-style class. So inhaling, arms up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Take your left foot to the back of the mat. Take your right foot to the back of the mat. Come into a push-up position. And inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhaling to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, you're going to come slightly forward with your knees. And you're going to bend your knees. Go to the side. You're going to bend your knees so that they are hovering over the earth. So you're not all the way down, but just above the ground. Your shins should be parallel to the ground. You're just going to stay here for a few breaths. You should have to engage your core to try to maintain this position. And you're pushing away from the ground with your hands. If this is easy for you, you can lift one leg off the ground. And then you can lift the other leg off the ground. Both feet on the ground, stay there for a couple more breaths. And exhale to downward dog, hips up to the sky. That should feel good. Now you're going to take your right leg to the sky and bring your right foot forward. Rotate your left heel down and come into warrior one. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So remember, your hips are facing forward. Your back leg is straight, and you're putting weight into the outer edge of that foot. If you can, bring your arms up alongside your ears. You can clasp your hands together or keep them apart, whatever you like. See if you can sink your hips down just a little bit more. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit warm, and your body should have a little bit more pliability at this point. And we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Remember, you're trying to keep that front thigh parallel to the ground if you can. All right, when you're ready, you're going to bring your hands to prayer at your heart. We're going to go for warrior three. So you're going to lean forward. You might need to step that back foot in some. You're going to try to bring all your weight onto that right leg and bring your torso parallel to the earth. You're trying to keep that back knee facing toward the earth so you're not opening the hip up, but keeping your hips parallel.
Hannah, would you please show us from the side?
Yep.
Thank you.
From the side, you're like this. Sorry, it's not a lot of room here. Your chest is flat toward the earth. Your leg is straight behind you, ideally at kind of hip level with your knee down. You keep your hands in prayer at your heart. Sorry, I'm like halfway on my mat and halfway off, and the balance is challenging. You can keep your arms behind you, or you can extend them forward. Just another couple breaths here. Your next exhalation, go ahead and bring your left hand down to the ground. You're going to rotate your upper body to bring your right shoulder over the top of your left shoulder if you can. I'm going to move back a little bit here. And this is a twisted half moon. So your hips are still relatively flat. Your left knee is still facing down to the ground. You're just trying to open your chest up a little bit. On your next exhalation, you're going to bring that left foot to the back of your mat like you started out in Warrior 1. And now you're going to open your hips to the side, and we're going to be in Warrior 2. So your front knee is still bent. Your thigh is parallel to the earth. The back leg is still straight with weight on the outer edge of that back foot. You may want to scooch that back foot back just a little bit so you can open your hips out. And then bring your arms to shoulder level. So your right arm is straight in front of you, your left arm is behind you. Feel free to look at that left arm. Make sure it's where you want it to be. And then your gaze is soft in front of your right arm, kind of looking out beyond the middle finger. And try to sink your hips down. Two more breaths. On your next exhalation, you're going to go ahead and come into side angle. So you can bring your right arm to your right thigh, or if that's easy for you, you can bring your right hand to the ground inside your right foot. And you're trying to open up your chest now so that your left shoulder is over the top of your right shoulder. Left arm can come up to the sky or up by your ear. And your gaze can be straight ahead or it can be up toward your arm. Just make sure you keep that front knee bent. Still trying to keep that knee over the top of the ankle. Bring your left hand to your left hip, and then move your right hand out in front of your right foot toward the outer edge of that foot, and you're going to come into half moon. So your left leg is going to come out behind you at the level of your hips. Your hips are now open, so not like Warrior 3 where our hips are facing down, but open to the side. Your knee is pointing to the side of the room, not pointing to the ground. And your right hand is just to the outer edge of that foot and a little bit in front. So maybe about a foot-ish in front of your right foot and toward the pinky edge of that foot. Now, once you feel comfortable there, you can take your left arm to the sky. Your shoulders are stacked. Your left arm over your right. If that feels good, you can take your right hand off the ground and bring it to prayer at your heart center. Or you can keep it in front of you. Either way. Go ahead and bring your left hand now down to the earth next to your right. You're going to rotate your hips down And now see if you can come up to standing without putting that left leg on the ground. So you can bring your hands to your hips and then bend your knee and bring that leg forward. If you have to put your leg down, that's fine. Woo! All right, so here you are standing on your right leg and your left knee is up in front of you. This is perfectly good. If you're here, you can grab that knee with both hands. If you have a little bit more flexibility, you can grab the big toe of your left leg, of your left foot, and extend that leg out in front of you, or you can stay with the knee. Either way. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. Your right hand, I find to be comfortable on my right hip, but if you like something else, that's fine. You're trying not to bend forward. Try to keep your torso upright. And now go ahead and take that leg out to your side. And again, this can be with a bent knee as well. If you like, you can turn your gaze toward the opposite shoulder. And now bring that leg back in front of you. Whether it's bent or straight. And then wherever you are, let go of the leg. See if you can bring your hands up over your head and try to keep that leg high. In fact, see if you can squeeze that leg up just a little bit more. And then bend that foot and put the left foot down. Whew. You can shake it out a little bit. I don't know, maybe you're like me, maybe you're having more balance issues today. I don't know. Okay. Go ahead and step up to the front of your mat. And inhaling, raise your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Take the right foot to the back of the mat. Take the left foot to the back of the mat. Come down into a push-up position. Inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhaling to downward facing dog. And then we have to do all that on the other side. Exhaling, take your left leg to the sky, bring the left foot forward, rotate your right heel down, and we're coming back to warrior one on this side. So again, your front knee is over the top of your ankle, trying to get that thigh parallel to the earth. Your back leg is extended straight behind you with weight on the outer edge of that foot. Your hips are facing forward, and your hands are up, ideally over your head. The hands can be clasped, or the arms can stay shoulder width apart. And see if you can drop your hips down just a little bit more. Go ahead and bring your hands to prayer at the heart. We're going to go back to that warrior three. So you can walk that back foot in a little bit. And you're going to bring your weight over your left leg and bring your torso parallel to the earth. You can keep your hands in prayer, or you can extend your arms back alongside your body, or you can extend them forward. You're trying to keep your chest parallel to the earth. I'll turn to the side, if you can, and your back knee is facing down toward the ground. It's not open out to the side. Now go ahead and put your right hand down onto the earth. We're going to do that twisted half moon. So your right leg is going to stay up. You're rotating your torso in the opposite direction, so your left shoulder is trying to stack over the top of your right shoulder. And you're trying to keep that back leg lifted with the knee still facing the earth. By the way, this is where blocks can be useful if you have a block or something else to rest your hand on if you can't get your hand all the way to the ground. And you can also bend that front knee if you need to, if you can't quite reach. Wherever you are, you're going to put that left foot to the back of your mat and come up into warrior two. So again, your hips are now open to the side. Your front knee is still bent. Your back leg is still straight. And now you're going to bring your left arm forward and your right arm back at the level of your shoulders. And try to extend your gaze out beyond the middle finger of your front hand. And see if you can sink down just a little bit more. Now we're going to go for side angle. So you're going to take your left arm and either place it onto your front thigh or bring that hand down to the earth on the inside of your foot. You're rotating your shoulders so that your right shoulder is over the top of your left shoulder. And you can bring that right arm either up to the sky or alongside your ear. Your gaze is either in front of you or up to that hand, the one that's up in the air. And stay here for a few breaths. Try to keep your hips tucked under so your bottom isn't swinging out to the side. That will help you be able to open up your chest. Go ahead and bring your right hand to your right hip. And now we're going to go into our half moon, so you can bring that back foot forward a little bit. Place your left hand out in front of your left foot and a little bit toward the pinky side of that foot. Rotate your right hip so it's stacked over your left. Your leg is extending straight out behind you. I'll do this from the side again, like this. So your knee is pointing, your right knee is pointing straight in front of you, no longer pointing to the ground. Your right shoulder is stacked over the top of your left shoulder, and your hips are stacked as well. So everything is open to the side. And this is again where you can use a block on the ground if you can't quite reach. You can also bend that front leg. If you're comfortable here, you can take the left hand and bring it into a namaste position at your chest. Or you can keep it down on the ground. Wherever you are, you're going to bring both hands to the earth in front of that left foot and bring your hips flat now. Instead of being open, you're going to be flat. And we're going to do that standing up thing. So we're going to try to not have our right foot touch the earth. So you can bend your front knee a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips and then slowly stand and bring your right knee up towards your chest. So again, you can stay working with the knee here, or if you are feeling a little bit more flexible and are a little bit warmed up, you can go ahead and grab the big toe of that right foot with your right hand and extend that leg out in front of you. Either way, try to maintain your torso upright. You're not folding over, okay? We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Ideally, that bottom leg is straight, but if it needs to be bent, that's okay. It's actually a little bit harder if it's bent. And now you're going to take that leg and push it out to your side. And you can look over your opposite shoulder if you like. And go ahead and bring that leg back in front of you, whether it's bent or straight. And now you're going to let go of that leg and bring your arms up overhead. Try to keep the leg right where it was if you can. Often it drops a little bit, that's okay. See if you can just bring it up just a little bit more. And then go ahead and bend that leg and put it on the ground. And shake it out. Go ahead and just gently fold forward and wiggle your hips a little bit. Side to side and sway. Sometimes that feels good. All right, go ahead and come up to standing. Whew. Hopefully that feels like you've done some work here in your IT band and your outer thighs. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, take your right leg to the back of the mat. Take your left leg to the back of the mat. Now we're gonna come into side plank. So we'll go first on our right hand. So bring your right hand to the center of your mat. Rotate your heels so that your right leg is on the bottom. I'm gonna turn here so you can see. Right leg is on the bottom. Left leg is on top. And now all your weight should be on your right arm. Your hand is relatively below your shoulder. You don't want it way out to the side. And then on the outer edge of your left foot. You're trying to push your hips up toward the sky. So you're trying to not be here, although you might be, but try, if you can, to push the hips up. And then you bring your left arm up overhead, or you can bring it up by your ear. Now, if you're here and you feel pretty good, then you can do some side crunches. We're gonna bring that left leg in to meet your left elbow, and then extend out. If not, you just stay in side plank, or child's pose. Or maybe you hate me and you're gonna leave now. I don't know. One more if you're doing these side crunches. Okay. Slowly and gently bring your left hand back to the earth, and now you're in plank. And go ahead and come down into chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Exhaling, bring your right leg up to the sky. Bring your right foot forward. Now we're going to come up into crescent. So you're going to keep your hips facing forward, just like we do in Warrior One. Your back foot, though, you're not going to rotate the heel down. You're going to keep it up. Your front knee is still bent, like all those other poses. So your knee is over the top of your ankle. And now what we're going to do is we're going to drop that back knee down toward the ground and then push it back up. But I'm going to show you from the side, because what we want to do is try to minimize movement in that front leg. So we want it all to be coming from that back leg, so that you're bringing that back knee down and extending up, rather than doing this, where a lot of it is coming from the front leg. I hope you can see that difference. So your right knee is bent, left leg is straight. Your hands can be on your hips, your hands can be up to the sky, they can be in your front thigh, whatever you like. And we're gonna do 5 of these. So knee down, and then straighten. Knee down, and then straighten. Knee down, straighten. Knee down, straighten, and one more. Knee down, and straighten. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a twist. So you're going to take, your right leg is forward, so you're going to take your left arm and bring it to the outside of that knee, and then come into a namaste position. If that feels good, you can bring your left hand to the ground and your right arm up to the sky. This is looking very modern arty with the sun blocking out half my body. If you're happy here, you can go ahead and bind. So you can tuck your left arm underneath and take your right arm back and clasp your hands. Just a couple breaths here. If you're bound, unbind, but stay twisted. Now what you're gonna do, bring your back foot in just a little bit and see if you can straighten that front leg. Whew. And bring your left hand down to either your ankle, your foot, to the earth, either inside or outside of that foot. And then take your right arm up to the sky. One more breath. Now bring both hands down. So you can either put them on your shin, onto blocks, onto your foot, or onto the ground on either side of your foot. And this is pyramid. So your hips are facing forward, your back foot is rotated in, your front foot is facing directly forward. You're trying to keep your back flat and extended forward rather than curving. And if that feels good, you can start to walk your hands forward and extend your head forward beyond your front toe, but trying not to curve your back. So try to keep your back flat. Right, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend that front leg. I'm gonna turn back around. You're gonna bend that front leg and then take your back leg further back. So you're kind of in this deep lunge position. You can see my back leg there. Now what you're gonna wanna do, bring both hands on the inside of that right foot. And you can stay there if that feels good. You can, if it's possible, come down onto both elbows on the inside of that foot. And you're trying, if you can, to keep the back leg straight with the knee off the ground. But if that's not possible, put the knee down, that's fine. You're just trying to get into the outer hip here on your right hip. If you're able to extend the back leg, you're also gonna get a little hip flexor stretch on that back leg, but it's not a big deal if that doesn't work for you. So if you're here and your elbows are down, what you can do is try to take your right shoulder under that right leg. If that works for you, you can take the right arm all the way out to the side, and your left arm out to the side, and you can bring both arms off the ground like you're flying, like an airplane. Kind of fun. But if not, this is fine. This is fine. Being on your hands is fine. It's all fine. Just trying to get an outer hip stretch over here. Wherever you are, come onto your hands and take that right leg back to meet your left, and you're in plank. And come into a push-up position. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. I don't know, maybe I'm in bad shape today. This feels harder than usual. Okay, right leg to the sky. Bring your right foot forward. Bring your left foot forward and fold. Inhaling, come up to standing. And then bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Oh, I think there's some chat, sorry. Oh, okay. Everything's fine. Okay, great. Inhaling. That was just a little excuse, right? I wanted a break. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. And take your left leg to the back of your mat. right leg to the back of your mat, and you're in plank. So before you go into chaturanga, remember we gotta do side plank on the other side. So left hand comes to the middle of your mat. You rotate your heels. I'll do this again from the side. Rotate your heels so that the outer edge of your left foot is on the ground. Your shoulder is over the top of your wrist. Your right arm is going to come up to the sky or over your ear, either way. You're trying to push your hips up to the sky. You're trying to not let them drag down toward the earth. So your hips are up. Now, if you're here, great. By the way, you can come down onto this left knee if it's too hard to do the full thing. This is a good way to get into that position with your hips up. Okay, so those of you who are still actually in side plank, just like we did on the other side, you can stay there, or you can do these side crunchy things, bringing your right knee in to meet your right elbow. And if you're doing that, we're doing 5 of them. This 5 is a good number. Whew. Wherever you are, you're going to bring your right hand back to the mat, and now you're in this plank position. Come down into push-up position. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling to downward dog. Now, from downward dog, you're going to take your left leg up to the sky. Bring your left foot forward into crescent. So remember, oops, I'm really struggling with my balance today. So remember, your hips are forward. Your front thigh is flat, parallel to the earth. Front knee is over the top of your ankle. Your back heel is up toward the sky. It's not rotated down like it is in all those other poses. So this is crescent. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other side, which is to bring that knee down and then extend the leg back with minimal movement on the front leg. Ready? All right, 5 times. So knee down and straighten. Knee down and straighten. Your hands can be to the sky if you want. Knee down and straighten. 2 more. Knee down and straighten. Knee down and straighten. Whew. All right, so now we're going to go into that twist. So now your left leg is forward, so your right arm, turn back this way, your right arm is going to come to the outside of your left knee. And you can have your hands in prayer position, just like this. By the way, if you can't get to the outside of that knee, this will work too. You just rest your elbow on your thigh. If you're in a prayer position here, you can extend your right hand to the ground and your left hand to the sky. If that feels fine, you can go ahead and try to bind. So you take your right arm underneath that leg and bring the left hand behind, and the 2 hands grab each other.
Is it possible that you show from the side as well?
Yeah. So, wherever you are, bring your hands to prayer. And now see, sorry, I'm going to adjust my position. Bring your hands to prayer on the outside of that leg and see if you can straighten that front leg out. If you can straighten that front leg out, then can you bring your right hand down to the ground? It can be on your shin, it can be on your foot, it can be inside your foot, it can be outside your foot. You can rotate that back heel down, by the way, toward the ground. Now you're going to try to bring your left shoulder over the top of your right shoulder and raise that left arm up to the sky. Couple more breaths. Go ahead and bring both hands down toward the ground so they can be on your shin, on your foot, on blocks, or on the ground in front of you. And this is pyramid. So your hips are kind of facing forward and they're flat. They're not open out to the side. And start by, wherever you are, just flattening your back. You might want to look up a little bit. You're trying to not curve down. Just keep your back flat. And again, your hands can be wherever is comfortable. If you feel good, then you can go ahead and start kind of moving your hands forward a little bit and extending your upper body so that your head is aiming out beyond the toes of that front leg. And again, you're not trying to curve your spine to get your forehead to the leg. You're just trying to extend forward. Wherever you are, maybe nudge that left foot a little bit toward the side of your mat. Bring both hands on the inside of that front foot. You might want to inch that back foot back a little bit. So we're going to come back into that same position on this side. Let me turn to the side. So the front knee is bent with the knee over the top of the ankle. The back leg is straight with the heel toward the sky. You can stay on your hands, or if it feels okay, you can come down onto your elbows. If the back knee needs to come to the ground, that's perfectly fine. We're just trying to get a stretch in the outer hip of our left leg. If this knee can stay off the ground, you also get a hip flexor stretch here, but it's not necessary. So if you're here with your elbows on the ground, you can try to take your left shoulder, just like we did on the other side, underneath that left knee. And if that's fine, you can take the left arm out to the side, right arm out to the side. If that's fine, you can lift them both up off the ground and you're flying. Somehow it seems harder than sitting in an airplane, doesn't it? Whew. Wherever you are, stay there for a couple breaths. Go ahead and come onto your hands on the inside of that foot. And finally, take that left foot to the back of your mat and come into plank. And down to push-up position. Inhaling to upward dog. And exhaling to downward dog. You can take a couple breaths here, or you can come into child's pose, or you can get some water. All right, wherever you are, your left leg is going to go to the sky, or in some other way, you're going to meet me at the front of your mat with your feet together and fold over. You can keep your hips about hip width, your feet about hip width apart. And then try to just bring your chest down towards your legs. So if you can't bring your belly to your thighs with your legs straight, then bend your knees. But if you can get your belly to your thighs without your knees bent, then go ahead and do that. And then see if you can grab your big toes with your fingers of each hand, so same foot, same hand. And then try to extend your head toward the mat. So again, not trying to take my head through my legs, but just down toward the mat. And my hips are pushing up to the sky. Just gonna check the time. All right, go ahead and release your hands. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. Now, last time, a couple of people wanted to work on crow. So just gonna spend like a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes on crow for anybody who wants to try it. And everyone should be able to at least try. So I'll go to some very basic. So first I'll just show you what the pose looks like, and then we'll talk about kind of how you get there. I guess I'll show it from the side. So you usually will start from some kind of squatting position, and then your knees are outside of your arms, so both arms are inside. That's how it looks from the front. Kind of like a frog, like you're about to do a froggy jump. Okay, now from here, you put your hands on the ground, and they're about shoulder distance apart. And then you just start to lean forward. And maybe this is all you got today, is just the leaning forward and getting your bum up. If you can do that and that feels fine, then as you lean forward, if you lean forward enough, your feet will come off the ground. But the key is not to lean down. If you notice, I didn't push my head toward the ground. I just pushed my head forward like I'm looking out in front. And your knees or your shins are pushing into your upper arms. That's definitely happening. But you're also trying to use your core to kind of suck everything in. So if you don't engage your core, this is what it looks like. It's kind of slumpy a little bit. But if you engage your core, this is what it looks like. And that second one is a lot easier to hold. So if you're going for being able to hold this for a couple seconds or whatever, then you really do have to engage that core. So I'm just going to give people a couple minutes to try, and I'll watch and see if I have any thoughts. Some people like to put a pillow in front of them so they're not afraid of falling.
Can you show it one more time, Dr. Salas?
Yep. So you're in a squat. So this is what I like to do. I like to bring my knees pretty much to my armpit because they're gonna fall anyway. And then I kind of push back with my upper arms. You can see that. So I don't start like here. I get to this position and I bring my arms back a little bit. And then I come up onto the balls of my feet, firmly plant my hands, and then I lean forward. And then what you can see is, I can basically get my arms fully straight from this position, which you can't do. Like the lower your legs are on your arms, the harder it is to straighten them. But that's something to work on in the long term. Was that helpful? Marielle, that looked really good. Yeah, some people are like amazing. You don't need tips.
I cannot do that much.
Yeah, the other thing is I'm seeing a few people do this thing where they're looking behind themselves. So you're getting to here and then you're looking back. That's very hard because what you need is your energy to be going forward. If you're going back, you're going to collapse. So instead of, I don't even know if I can, I'll see if I can do it. It seems really hard. Okay, like if you're here, that's really hard. I don't know how you guys are doing that. That's really hard because you're kind of like, it's very hard to engage your core as you'd have to like really round your upper back, which is just very challenging. See if you can turn your gaze forward a little bit and think about flattening your back. Maybe that'll help. All right. Last like 30 seconds here. Because we have to do a little bit of core before we finish.
Can just do for 2 seconds more.
2 seconds is better than 0 seconds. Okay, I saw one more thing. So there's a challenge, I think, for some people with what part of their leg is engaging with the arm. So I think what I saw was, let me see if I can recreate it. It was something it was something like this, where it was like the inside of the shin or thigh was on the arm. What you really want is the front of the shin on the arm. Do you see this? This part of the leg is what needs to be on the arm, not here. If you're here, then you're really having to squeeze in with your inner thighs to keep the legs up, and that's very, very hard. But if your arms are underneath your shins, then you have that pushing from the front of the shin into the triceps, and then again you engage your core, and that makes it lighter. Okay, we'll do more of this in the next few weeks, but oh my gosh, we're gonna do 3-minute core. Everybody ready? It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so we're gonna start on our elbows like this. So you're on your bottom and your elbows. You're gonna try to keep your upper body curved like this, so we're not arching our spine, we're just keeping it curved with your low back kind of on the ground. Now, we're gonna do a couple of things. The first one, you can keep your legs straight or you can bend them, either way. The easier version is with them bent, and you're just gonna bring the knees in and then bring them out. And in and out. You're trying to bring your knees as close to your chest as you can. If that's easy for you, you're gonna straighten your legs. Right now, I know you can't see my feet, but they're not on the ground. They're hovered off the ground. And I'm gonna bring the legs together in a pike toward my chest. And then I'm gonna lower them down. So the legs are straight if you're doing that version. If you're doing the knee bent version, keep doing it. And you're going slow, okay? This is not a sprint. It's slow and controlled. So you're lowering all the way down and then bringing your legs all the way in. Slow and controlled. Keeping your back curved. So you really have to use all of your core to engage that movement. 2 more just like that. And 1 more. Okay, now this one is going to be similar, but it's a little bit more challenging. So it's called think of a windshield wiper. So what you're going to do is you're going to stay on your forearms. You're going to bring your legs out to the side and then bring them, it's so hard, toward your chest, like this. And then back around. And I know I've got walls in my way. I'm going to scooch back. And then back to the ground. So same idea, it's just you're going to go out to the side and then bring your legs toward your face and then out to the side and then back down low. And again, slow and controlled. The keys are to bring your legs as low as you can without arching your lower back, and then bringing your knees as close to your chest as you can at the top. Just 2 more. Last one. Okay. We're gonna now come all the way onto your back and bring your knees up, your legs straight up to the sky. Bring your arms up above your face. And then you're gonna just try to reach to your ankles or your toes, whatever you can. Some people bring their hands down over their head. If you feel like you need to do that, that's fine, but then you're gonna end up using more momentum. So I'm trying to isolate your core here. So your arms, if they stay here, you're really only using your core to get your shoulders and your chest off the ground and tap however high up on your legs you can. Now, if you want to keep your feet flexed, you get a little bit of a hamstring stretch at the same time. I'm usually too tired to do that. Okay, a couple more. And now you're going to go to the opposite ankle. So you're going to take this is my right hand, it's going to go to my left ankle. left hand, left ankle, right hand, right ankle, right hand, left ankle, left hand, right ankle. And you're gonna keep doing this for like, I don't know, 20 or 30 seconds, or until you hate me, whichever comes last. Almost there. Couple more. Oh, okay, bring your knees in to your chest. I had more planned, but we're running out of time. Okay, bring your knees in towards your chest. Grab the outsides of your feet. This is happy baby. So your back is flat on the earth. Try to bring your bottom toward the ground. So you're not curved up like this. Your bottom is down toward the ground, and you're trying to bring your knees in towards your armpits and toward the ground. This should feel good. It's meant to be kind of like a rest pose. If you're here and you're like, well, this is boring, you can extend your legs out to the sides, or you can stay in happy baby. Just a couple of breaths. Bring your feet together and put them on the ground in front of your hips so they're forming like a diamond position. Just for a second, bring your right hand to your chest, your left hand to your belly. Supta Baddha. Close your eyes and just take a couple of breaths. Bring your knees up, keeping your feet on the ground, and push yourself up to a seated position. We have 1 minute. I'm going to end just like 2 minutes late. 1 minute to do an inversion. So you can put your legs up against the wall. You can do dolphin. If you're someone who's working on headstand, dolphin is a really excellent thing to do. So basically, you put your forearms on the ground, you clasp your hands, and your feet are back behind you, and you kind of go into this sort of downward dog position. So my head is not on the ground, and you walk your feet in a little bit. And that's it, and you stay there. So if you're working on headstand or if you're working on forearm balance, that's a really good prep. Also, if you want to do handstand, now is a good time for that. Or if you want to do forearm balance, whatever works for you. Maybe next time I'll do some headstand tips or something.
Trying to.
By the way, if you have your legs up against a wall, which I think a couple people are doing, you can use that as an opportunity to work on your adductor flexibility. So I don't have a big wall in this space here, so I can't really show you, but if you're here with your legs up, you can bring your legs to the side, and I really like it. It feels nice to be resting up against the wall like that. So you can give that a try. Okay, 20 seconds left for whatever inversion you want to do. Just do one more. You can do it. One more. I promise I'm going to spend like another hour working out after this, so don't worry. I'm with you. It hurts. All right. Whatever you're doing, go ahead and finish up and find your way onto your mat. And Shavasana. So you're going to go ahead and lay down on your back. Bring your feet out about hip width distance apart and your arms out to your sides with your palms facing up. If you prefer to be in a seated meditation position, that's totally welcome. Whatever works for you. Wherever you are now, just settle into that pose. Close your eyes. Start deepening your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now keep breathing at your own pace. And just try to focus, if you can, on your breath. So those other thoughts that come in, just push them away. Whether it's the grocery store or the other errand or the thing related to work or that person, whatever it is, just push it out. This is not the time for that. This is the time for you. Focusing on your breath. Slowly start coming back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe start rotating your wrists and your ankles. Maybe give yourself a big stretch overhead, extending your arms up and your legs straight out in front of you. And then go ahead and bend your knees and turn onto your side, cradling your head with your arms. And gently push yourself up to a seated position. Thank you so much for being here. I was off today. I don't know. My balance was messed up and stuff, but hopefully it was still a good class for you. And hopefully you got something out of it, whatever it was you came for. I hope you got it. And I hope everyone has a lovely day. Namaste.
Thank you so